somewhere along the way, we've lost it. I don't know exactly when, I can't pinpoint the moment or the event, but today in the UK, and I feel in the West, we kind of lost the ability to reason and ask questions, really, and get any answers. Speaking a simple truth nowadays, asking simple questions can be seen as dangerous. Say the wrong word and people will lose their minds. Okay, they're going to get triggered and they will melt like children. It feels to me like, there's this TV shows when they put people on the island, like 10 people, let's say, like, a reality show. And one by one, those people are losing their minds. And at the end, there's only a few, the toughest or more crazy people left. And this is what kind of UK feels to me right now. We have this island of people losing their minds. And the state is kind of bucking it up, right? Let me know in the comments if this is how you feel, because I can't understand why we're here exactly. And if you feel this way, and if you know when it happened, please, by all means, let me know. I can't, I don't know. I'll try to answer it, but I really can't. I've been thinking about this. Like we've had recently a prime minister accepting that he said publicly that the UK is becoming a nation or island of strangers, right? That's exactly it. And what do? Well, they send us more strangers to make it what? It's insane, right? If you think about this. And this is exactly where I think we're being cheated as a country, right? Let me explain you. I'll give you two examples. One is about the word Brexit. You say word Brexit and people will lose their minds. Okay, I've recorded a video a couple of days ago about why I think the EU is not a friend to the UK, and I'm giving a clear reason behind my thinking. And as you probably would imagine, people would just jump in straight in, calling me names, having meltdowns, emotional tantrums. Out of people, like most people were just fine, like yeah, that they agreed. But the people who disagree, there was not a single person disagreeing with my video, my opinion, instead of just coming in and giving me all the emotional, unloading the emotional traumas they bear. They can't carry on since Brexit, right? It's been like a decade almost. The closest one to giving me an argument was the most pathetic one. Somebody said that when we were back in the EU, we would wait long. The queues were shorter if you wanted to leave, go on the airport or be in the airport, going on the airplane. So basically, now we need to wait longer to get on the airport, right? Get on the plane, which is the most pathetic reason. Like, if that's the price to be more sovereign country, then I suppose we can take it. But anyway, that was the closest one. Another example was I was watching this. There was this YouTube channel, a very big channel called Trigonometry, and you probably guys know it, right? Excuse me. And I was watching their video about one of these guys. The guy's name's Constantine. He went on to film the protest in Canary War for the illegal immigrants, right, staying in a hotel. And there were people from counter protests, so people for those immigrants. And he wanted to ask questions. Why are you staying here? Why are you arguing? Or why are you protesting for? And a couple of ladies, they were not able to answer it clearly. Okay, they were straight in. Whenever he asked that question, he was calm. He was just asking. But they noticed that he's not supporting their side, their idea. So they immediately went into this conversation shutdown mode when they just get emotional and hyperventilating and giving you not like, oh, I'm not feeling now, oh, there's another one coming, are you okay, are you not comfortable? And it's just creating this kind of impossible to break through the bubble when there's like emotional bubble of meltdown. Now, to me, this is no different to bringing a 5-year-old kids onto the street and telling them, go and protest for what you want. And if you have kids or if you have been around kids, you will know they will protest most likely, we want sweets for breakfast, which is the most ridiculous thing. But they're going to give you all the reasons why they want breakfast with chocolate or something, right? And that's exactly how it's like. Obviously, the adult will look, yeah, okay, we can't listen to it. But when it comes to this most important topics for the country, And these people with unstable mentally people having open meltdowns in front of everyone, right? Not able to defend their position with reason. I'm not talking about, it's a conversation, a civil conversation. They can't do it. And we somehow allowing it to happen in terms of like we listened or we follow the kind of ideas, or like we allowing them to be part of the conversation, even though they don't want to be, they're refusing. And they being backed by the state. Now, you see, this is a huge problem if we want to move forward, because we're basically trying to find a solution to a problem which we can't nail for both sides. Now, if the both sides would be open to conversation and we would be mature about this, we would just bring up all the arguments, right? That's how in theory debates work. And you have for, you have against, we talk, and then we decide which side is more right. And nobody's going to have ever 100% people agreeing on anything, but that's why Brexit happened, even though it was tiny margin apparently, but it went through, right? There's a reason, there's a rules for all of it, and it should be the same about every single important challenge for the country, but it's not, because we're being stuck into this child mentality with people on the other side when they're trying to just... It's almost like emotional terrorism for me, right? Is it my way or no way? It doesn't matter. Most of the country doesn't want that. They want it this way. I want it, or I'm going to call you names. I'm going to call the police. Whatever it takes. These people are very aggressive, very loud, and they're not stable people. People want to understand reasons for why they're like this. Maybe we can find a common ground. They're not like this. We're more just calm. We just want to be talking about these things, right? But we can't. We passed that point because there is no more ability to reason in this country. These people, they will drag you into their emotional story. If you ask them a question, why do you here? Who do you support? Well, I've been living around here for 20 years. I was working as a social worker. I've seen poor people, poverty, and they just charge everything with the emotional background, which has no relevance to what the actual topic today, the problem is, right? What was maybe 20 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe it was completely different. Yeah, I agree. But now it's different. Now it's now. We have to be able to, like, the mature adult person is able to, make a difference between yesterday, future, past, different, circumstances. Everything matters, right? It's like, again, like a little kid when he comes to you, say, oh, but yesterday I could have breakfast, chocolate, but yesterday the chocolate was before dinner or after dinner. Today there's a whole different story. For that kid, it's the same. For the mature adult, it's a completely different story, because there's so many different factors in it, right? And these people, they just can't get, I don't know if they don't want to get it or they can't get it, but we can't get through past that little bubble around them, very thick bubble, saying, no, I'm not having it, right? Another very important for me and crazy, look, and I'm Eastern European, so I call these things crazy, okay? That's how we call it, and we used to call it everywhere. If things are crazy, we would call them crazy. Now we're trying to be like, I don't know, they don't understand, we can't understand each other. No, I can't understand craziness. That's what it is. Another one is like being proud of the flag, of history, of your ancestry. Like, people have problems with it. Can't comprehend in my head how would anyone want to be in a country where they can't respect the flag, the history, the ancestors, everything. Okay, not cherry picking. I like that, but I don't like this. No, that the whole country has been built. The whole culture has been built, from ups and downs, all the good, all the bad. You can't just choose anyone's life. Basically, well, I would like to be successful as this person, but I don't want to go through the shit they had to go through. Right? That's not how it works. And yet we still have people claiming, like, you hear these stories when they refuse to put a flag on, or they can't celebrate their identity, although we're being told, so you have to be very, open, unless you're from the group they don't want to talk to. And bear in mind that these are the people, they are a minority, okay? It makes us feel like they have the power, all the power, and they're everywhere, but that's not true. And you can see it now where the country is with protests, and like, we are really on the brink as the UK, and it's not going to go for much longer, because the people behind this unbreakable bubble there's very few of them, because they have so unreasonable demands and points of view, so extreme points of view, that it's impossible to have a large number of people believing in that. It's just not possible. The only way is to suppress us, people who have got different point of view, by not being allowed to have a conversation, being threatened by free speech removal, all these things which they're trying, but I believe ultimately it will fail, and we're not far from it. It's basically we went to as far as we could. I mean, maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years longer, with these extreme measurements to try to protect the craziness, but it can't go forever, in my opinion. And the last one, it's the last one we actually can't even discuss, is the two-tier justice system, which is openly here in the UK, and everybody who knows about this story from last week about this councillor from Labour, it's just disgraceful, right? The guy has been, basically cleared off all the wrongdoing, although he was publicly calling for people to be harmed, and people notice it. I don't understand. Like, people behind in power, they think this is like you can kind of like put it in a corner, nobody will forget. You can't, because there's too many things up on the other. They're stacking up on each other, and we got to the point now we can't talk, we can't think, we can't communicate, we can't reason. And if you can't reason, then you can't have a conversation. Then there is no moving forward. So then you only have anger, and that anger you can see now everywhere. And you see it from people doing, silly things, stupid things, like going out there and smashing things. But that's always part of the anger, which is eventually coming up. But you have anger from people, from normal people everywhere. And I hear these people talk about issues I mentioned everywhere. I hear them in my local pub. I hear people coming from London and all other parts of the UK, because, where I live, it can be touristy. And I hear them whispering to each other at the tables, and they talk about all these issues, every single one of them. Even the people who would never come, I'd say these are the people who would never say this openly in the public, because they were probably afraid of losing their jobs, which is on its own the most ridiculous thing that we are allowing to happen. But they are out there. So as you keep hearing this in other channels and other media, social media, YouTube videos. The mainstream media is irrelevant anymore. Nobody's watching it anyway. How close everyone thinks we are to on the brink of actually breaking out of this nonsense. And I agree. I think if we can't argue, if we can't bring out a reason to a conversation about the most important topics, then the solution is to ignore the noise, ignore the part who is not interested to be part of the conversation, and just move ahead. And this is why you see the Reform UK is gaining so much power, because at least they are openly talking about these things, right? I don't know if they're going to follow through. I hope if they win, because it looks like they win. I don't have much trust in politicians anymore, unfortunately, especially, look, bear in mind where we are. I think I blame huge on conservatives before, because they were supposed to be, guarding the conservative values, when in fact they just destroyed everything, and they allowed Labour to come to power because they were so bad that nobody would people were just too tired of this complete incompetency from conservative side, right? It's a different story. But now the next party coming in, they're saying they're going to change it. We'll see. But you just can't rely anymore on this. Let's have a conversation. Shall we? Let's hear your opinion. You can't. Just move on. Don't listen to these people. They're not listening to you. Stop treating people better than they treat you. Like, there's a good way of treating people if you don't know. It's like, treat them first. When you meet somebody first, treat them the same they treat you. Okay, like, that's it. Like, if they treat you bad, treat them bad. Like, there's no you don't have to be complex, make it complex, a situation about how do we treat the other side. It's just, if they don't listen, you don't listen. They're going to start screaming at you. Don't scream back. Don't be like childish. Just don't listen. Move away. Just ignore them. They're not part of the conversation. They are in their minority. Nobody needs to care for when it comes to important matters for the country. We're going to have to focus on what's important for the country, not for that person's emotions, okay? And if she has or he has emotional meltdown, I'm sure there's a place they can get help, support, but it's not in politics. It's not about making sure the country is safe for everyone. This is just incredible that it's actually even, talking about this feels like it's controversial, because that feels to me like, it's just like, anyway, so I'll leave you with that. Let me know if you know the exact moment when these things went wrong. Is it because of the COVID? we lost our minds? Is it social media amplified all of it? Is it something else? Is it just the government's completely allowed? I don't know. Like, I feel like the social media has a big part because everybody has got now something to say. But I don't know. Anyways, if you want to have a conversations like this, I've opened up a private community. You can find a link down in the description. You can join me. There are people joining us for that reason. We want to have a normal conversation off limits. Obviously, within being, behaving well and not talking about, dangerous topics or something, but open conversations where we can actually talk openly without having meltdowns, adults, right? Mature people. You can read down in the description. The communities pay $10 a month, and I ask for $10 in order for all the crazy people to stay away, basically. Anyways, I'll leave it to you. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, please leave me a like. Join my community. I want to build that with you. I want you to be part of it, and I think we can actually build something bigger, something great together. Consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for all your support, all the comments. Leave the comments below if you want. Let me know if you know where we all lost the ability to reason. And have a lovely day. I'll see you soon. Cheers.